So you're a music director, you're a DJ, you're also a model. You have a lot of different inspiration, but all your inspiration, where does it come from for you?
I think for me it's just like my youth has a big impact on it. Growing up in the 90s, being obsessed with the 90s, and also like being obsessed with New York City. I grew up in upstate New York, and it was maybe 2 hours away from New York City, so I always, wanted to go to New York and had dreams of like being an artist and, sort of making my mark. And for me, in general, I'm also influenced by the subcultures of youth culture, just sort of like goth kids, skater kids, or punk rock kids, or, underground hip hop kids. So all of those worlds kind of influence me.
What is Vashtie's typical day?
A typical day for Vashtie might start at about 8 in the morning. I usually go to the gym right away, work out for like an hour and a half, come back home, shower, get ready to start the day. I'm answering emails and doing social media while I'm at the gym. And so I go home, get ready, usually work from home for a little bit, and then I take a few meetings. Depending on if I'm directing a music video, I'll be on set all day. If I am doing design work, it could just mean like meetings with like the client or doing fittings. But mainly nowadays it's sort of like a little bit more tame, where I'm basically in New York running around from meeting to meeting, and on my computer a lot, sourcing materials for future collaborations and projects, and just an array of things. And then usually in the evening I'm DJing, which can usually keep me up until about 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning. So my days are very, very long, and I have little time for sleep.
Okay. And you like it?
I love what I do. I can't complain. I really can't. I mean, to be able to get paid to, for having an idea it's a very lucky place for me to be in. And to live in New York City, the city that I've always loved, to be able to earn a living is great.
Everybody's want to work with you, and from the underground part, and also the mass market fashion. For you, what are they interested in?
I don't know, actually. I mean, I think that brands come to me because of my vision. I'd like to think that. I think that they're probably interested in my point of view and my ideas, and I think that because what it is that I do is so specific, and authenticity is very big for me, and I don't collaborate with just anyone, and I think that the people that follow me and support what it is that I do are also like-minded, and they are also interested in things that are authentic and real. So I think that when brands come to me, they are looking for that point of view. They're looking for me to kind of like be creative and be open, but also to, keep the parameters of what it is that I do very visible. Because I mean, that's what really kind of separates all of us, like having a vision and having, our own unique voice and style, and I think that that's why they come to me.
The authenticity is really important for you and for your work.
Authenticity?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I mean, for me, I just think that it's, if you're doing things that are inauthentic, then the people that follow and support you will see right through it, and they're not going to believe in you for very much longer. And I think that, it's important to have people really believe in you, and for you to make things that people can believe in. And I think that when it's time for collaboration, it's important that both people, it's almost like a relationship, everyone should be seeing eye to eye and sort of on the same level. And if not, then it could lead to a bad partnership, a bad collaboration, and that can be difficult.
You made a lot of different collaborations. How do you choose your new partner?
Well, for me, it's definitely, partnering with a brand that has integrity. I like brands that are authentic, but also that, understand their parameters and their limits, Just because it's some celebrity that has 1 million followers, you know, it doesn't mean that they should be collaborating with them. And I like it when brands are aware of that and clients are aware of that, you know. And for me, I just think that that's something that I look for. Integrity is just number one. I would also say a brand that is forward, you know, maybe it's a brand that has a rich heritage and it's been around for a long time, but you know, I like it when brands are sort of open to change. So I think that those two things.
Which catwalk did you assist in?
I went to Chloe, which was really beautiful.
Okay.
I went to Carven, and Carven, I mean, it's so hip and like fresh, and I'm excited about Carven. I went to Galliano, and that was exciting. I mean, Galliano is just like incredible and has such a rich history. And I'm going to Kenzo. I haven't gone to that one yet. And I liked it.
Okay. And what do you think about the Parisian creativity?
You know, it's funny because I travel a lot, and I go to many cities. I live in America, and America gets a bad rap, but I love America. I'm American. But if I were to move outside of New York, the only other place I would ever consider is Paris. And, you know, for me, growing up, like, in America, you're so disconnected from Europe, and you think, like, France and, like, Paris, you think it's so foreign and so different, and it is, for sure. But, you know, coming here is exciting because, I mean, it's such an old city, so you just kind of get this sense of just, like, all these entities and these things that existed before you, and I think that that's sort of overwhelming in a very nice way. And I think that the approach that Parisians specifically have is it's classic, it's clean, it's modern also, but then it also has this very slight edginess to it. So, you know, I feel like New York is different in the sense that, you know, it can kind of be loud and kind of overwhelming, and then in Paris it's a very understated, like, chic and cool, which I think is incredible, you know. And I think that the creativity that I've been seeing coming out of Paris is quite nice, because I think that a lot of the new designers are taking from classical, like, French or Parisian style, but then adding, you know, some vibrancy here and there. So I like the balance of the two.
We interviewed a lot of different people, and we ask everybody the same question: what is the difference for them between Paris, New York, and Tokyo? Also, because they all seem to love wearing Tokyo. So I just want to have your opinions.
What's the difference between Paris and Tokyo and New York?
Yeah.
Whew. I mean, for me, I think that that's such a hard question. I mean, okay, immediately New York is, because it's home and I know it so well, to me New York City is intriguing because it's so many different worlds, and it's a mix of those worlds. You know, you have like rich, poor, black, white, a million different ethnicities and cultures that are constantly coming through. And I think that the beauty of New York is that it's all blended into one sort of style. There's no way that, like, you know, if you go to a rich, fancy area, you'll see a girl who's dressed like, you know, a girl from a poorer neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, New York is cool because there's no difference between rich and poor. Like, on one street, you'll have, like, the most expensive buildings, and then a block away, you'll have the poorest neighborhood. So what I love about New York is that it's all level, and there's no difference between everyone. And I think that influences the style in a nice way, because it just creates a lot of uniqueness. I mean, Paris, I would say Paris is interesting because everyone, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I mean, there's this understated cool, so it's like, you know, it's like I don't have to show off because I know I'm cool, you know, like I love that sense. And you know, I love the idea that like, especially women, like, I mean, in New York, especially in the States, it's like girls are half dressed all the time, going to the club, going wherever, and it's like, it's freezing outside, they have no clothes on, And here it's like you guys are like from the neck covered, completely covered, but there's this sensuality and like and sexiness that just comes from the just natural energy, which I think is incredible. Tokyo, I feel like Tokyo is like I don't know, like a circus ride in an exciting way, because where the outskirts are more like old school and traditional Japan, Tokyo is very much forward and like especially fashion forward and futuristic in a way. And I think that what I see from Tokyo, and I haven't been there in like 10 years, but what I did see when I was there is that when people have a style, they commit to it like from head to toe. Mm-hmm. And you know, especially the Harajuku girls, like it's just sort of at least for that extreme style, it's definitely they are committed every day to their look, which is I love, because I feel like as a New Yorker I'm kind of lazy with my style. I'll just be I'll wear a t-shirt and I don't care, you know. And I think that that's something, an indication of New York that I don't necessarily think is a great one, that we can kind of be lazy, you know. But I also think that, I just think that Tokyo is just very, they have their own take on it, and it's also like, they're committed to their look 24/7.
Yeah. What are your favorite brands right now?
My favorite brands, I mean, immediately Supreme. I've been a fan and a friend of the brand for a long time. And, you know, I just really love what they do. And I really love what Saint Laurent's been doing lately. I mean, I've loved Yves Saint Laurent forever, and then I think that now, like, just seeing the transition as Saint Laurent has been really beautiful and very cool. Like, just, you know, it still keeps in tune with the heritage of the brand and what I would think that Yves would want for the brand, but still has, like, a nice edge to it. And I was just in Louis Vuitton actually, and looking at everything that Nicholas has been doing, and it's just so cool. Again, it's sort of like this. It's like this nice bridge between traditional and sort of like modern. And I don't know if I'm gonna say it right. Journée. It's a brand that's out of Paris, and they actually just had a show at Crazy Horse. I missed it, but I DJ'd their after party at Silencio. And to me, it's sort of like old school, like French girl style, and but just done in a very like updated, modern way. And they have sent me a few pieces, and I've worn it, and it's just like totally me, because it's like it's casual enough, but then it's still fashionable, you know, like there are pockets everywhere, and then it's like comfortable and it's not tight, and so I like that. And my own brand, I'm excited about my brand Violet. We're doing a lot of cool things, so yeah.
Okay, so can you tell us more about your brand Violet? I know that you're the first woman to have designed a pair of Jordans.
Right.
It's really amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Can you tell us more about this story and what does it mean to you?
Well, so the brand sort of came about in the late 2000s. You know, I've been a tomboy, despite now it's Fashion Week, so I'm dressed for Fashion Week. But I've been a tomboy, and you know, I've been wearing men's brands for so long, and I didn't have an actual brand like that was dedicated to women. And so I thought, you know, like I've always wanted to design clothes. When I was in art school, I was screen printing t-shirts and making clothes for friends and hand sewing things. So I said, you know, like maybe I should just try it. And so I started my brand, and you know, the idea that it was really dedicated to women, but because the styles are so masculine, we do have a men's portion. And through the brand, I've been able to do my collaboration with Brand Jordan, which made me the first woman ever to have a Jordan. And I did a Beats by Dre collaboration, a Puma collaboration, a G Shock collaboration. So, I mean, the brand has been really great with like doing like these awesome collaborations with amazing brands. And you know, now I'm just sort of refocused on sort of getting the brand, you know, bigger and better. For me, I'm just sort of like, I'm very hands-on, and when I started the brand, I wanted to do everything. Like, I wanted to be doing sales and shipping orders and literally down to screen printing t-shirts and folding them up, putting them in envelopes, sending them off to people. And for me, I just think that that's the best way to sort of learn, because, you know, in the event that I sort of grow and I get bigger and better, I will know every aspect of the job. So, you know, if I'm hiring people, or I know, you know, I'll understand the job that they have to do, and sort of, it'll help me be better at what it is that I do.
Yes. Can you tell us who are the people you admire the most at this time?
You know, I don't know. I'm inspired by my friends. I'm especially inspired by my female friends. You know, and I think that, you know, just being like young women in 2016 and being able to do what we want to do and conquer things and change the rules is exciting. My friends, you know, like all over the world, like they're here in town for Fashion Week, so they all do like an array of different things, and I just think that, like, I don't know, my friends, and just seeing women on the street, just like, I'm always imagining what their lives are like, but it's just very cool to see like women empowered and empowering others by just living their life as they wish.
You want to change the rules for the woman?
Right, yeah, I'd like to think I could, and that I will. You know, for me, it's sort of, I kind of grew up being a tomboy and always surrounded by boys, and never felt the need to be around girls, because I just couldn't understand girls. And, you know, as I've kind of grown into being like a young woman, and I'm like, whoa, it's like, it's so important, like, to have, like, you know, relationships with other women, and, you know, to really support them and create support systems for each other, because boys aren't going to do it, unfortunately, but whatever, they have other things to do. So I think that for me, I'd like to hope that even just what it is that I'm doing can inspire another young woman, because I'm literally a poor kid from a small city, and my parents are not rich or famous and work regular jobs. My dad's a car mechanic and my mom works at a nursing home. Like, they don't even do anything creative. So I think for me, I would hope that it would inspire not only young women, I mean, but hopefully definitely young women, but like people everywhere, just to know that your circumstances aren't limiting, you know, like they don't have to limit you, and you can do anything that you want to do.
You're a good example for that.
I hope so.
Really. So you traveled a lot, like you said. Where are your best experiences? If you have to choose one city.
One city outside of New York?
Yeah.
Paris.
Paris.
Easily Paris. I mean, and that's not a lie. I mean, I'm literally thinking about moving here for 6 months.
You're also a movie maker, and you made a video clip for Drake. You made one for Bieber, one for Kendrick Lamar. How can you choose your collaboration in this kind of thing?
Well, the Drake video I did was sort of a passion project that didn't involve him. It was just that I really loved the song and I wanted to make a video for it. But for the other things that I've done, you know, in the beginning of my career, I was just sort of taking on jobs, and they weren't necessarily, you know, it wasn't that I didn't have a choice. It was just, you know, they were great opportunities that I just took and took and took. And now I'm in a position where I do so many other different jobs that if a video job comes in, I have the honor of just being able to choose what I really want to do, which is incredible, because some people have to just take all the jobs they get. So now I just sort of like, I really am invested in working with up and coming artists, you know, because a lot of times they don't have a budget, and you know, I'm in a position where, because I don't necessarily need to rely on that paycheck for, you know, to pay my bills, I get to like help another artist, which is cool. And then it's also even more beneficial because usually a new artist doesn't have the team around them that is sort of interested in having their vision put on the artist. So a bigger artist has a lot of people involved, where it's like the manager, the stylist, the choreographer, the sponsorship, you know, agent. So a newer artist has less of that, so it leaves room for more focus on the creative rather than the sponsorship and, you know, the hair and makeup and all those things. So I like working with new artists, and I think that when Kendrick came around, it was one of his first videos. Justin Bieber, again, one of his first videos. So it's cool to be able to work with new artists for many reasons, but also to help sort of develop their vision.
Right now you joined, so you made with your brand a collaboration with Puma. At this time there is a lot of different ladies of influence who made different collaborations with Puma right now. How do you think about that with all this new campaign with Rihanna, with Kylie Jenner, also with you? This is really a new turnover for the company now.
Yeah, you know, it's so funny because I was thinking about it 2 years ago when I started working with the brand. I told a friend of mine, who's like one of my best friends, and he works for another competing brand. And I told him, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do this thing with Puma, and he's like, don't do it. Puma's like not cool. Like it's just not considered cool. And I was like, you know, I think that this is gonna be different. And like, you know, we'll see. And I really believe in them, and they believe in me. And you know, like I think that this is gonna be great. And it worked out. It really did work out. And you know, I'm glad I listened to my, you know, intuition and you know, working with them was actually an incredible experience because they were very open and very liberal. They gave me room to do whatever I wanted, which was exciting. And I think that it's cool. Like maybe I can say like, ooh, I was like one of the first, but you know, I think it's just cool. I think it's just like the beginning of the things that they're going to do. You know, to me, them collaborating with Rihanna is like so smart and so like. It's like, it makes total sense, you know, like she's forward and they're open to doing forward things, so I think that that is really cool. But yeah, I think that if they stay in tune with like more artist collaborations, that's very cool. And I'm excited to see that.
Okay. So just the last question, but if you have to choose 3 person, even death, for a dinner,
oh yeah,
who did you choose?
For dinner, I would say Andy Warhol, Malcolm X, and Frida Kahlo.
Oh, cool. That's cool. So what can we wish to you right now for the next year?
You know, for me, it's definitely just getting realigned, because I think for the past few years, I've gotten really, you know, when I work with another brand or client, I just get so focused on them that I sort of like let other passion projects and personal projects kind of fall to the side. So for me, this next year is definitely focused on my site, Vashtie.com, and you know, creating a destination site for people who want to know about art, music, culture, my life, what happens like in New York City, and my travels. So focus on my site, but also my brand, Violet, doing a lot more cool collaborations and sort of developing more, you know, cut and sew and homewares and kids clothing. So.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you have something to say for a last word for your French public?
Should I look into the camera?
Yeah.
Well, for the French public, I absolutely adore you, absolutely love you, and that's all. Merci beaucoup.
Merci à toi.